This video is with regard to the Environmental Approval System OneStop. The purpose of the video is to take a look at the quick reference guides. This video will focus on the Initiate New Water Act Application Excavation Quick Reference Guide. If you click on this link, it will take you down the page to an outline for quick reference guides. It outlines the excavation application purpose that includes things like dugouts, borrow pits, end pit lakes, sand and gravel pits, and other excavations. To complete an application, you can take a look at the General Application Quick Reference Guide and the Excavation Quick Reference Guide. In a previous video, we looked at how to complete the General Application portion, and in this video, we're going to take a look at the Excavation Guide. Also, you may take a look at the Import Digital Spatial Data in OneStop if you're going to be importing your own file, but we'll get to that in a minute. To access the Environmental Approval System OneStop, there were previous videos that were created on how to access the system. The link is located here to go to the Environmental Approval System OneStop. That link will take you to this page where you can enter in your My Alberta Digital ID or My Alberta Digital ID for Business. And we're going to actually be using the user acceptance testing site today, so please don't submit an application into this user acceptance testing site for review, as it will not be reviewed for an official authorization. Okay, so we've entered in information already associated with this application. Again, this was under the general application video where we entered in contact information, activity details. We went to the authorization portion where we entered the general application information and the water body. And prior to submitting this application, any of this data can be changed. It can be updated by the applicant. Once the application is submitted, the data cannot be changed. It's locked down. And your application will be saved up to a year, so you have a year to review and get your information into the system. So this quick reference guide with regard to excavation starts here at the additional information portion of the application. Now, excavations require a second shapefile, so you can either use the shapefile builder or you can use the import spatial data into OneStop, and it will outline what files you need, what format, what projections, and what attributes you require for the tables. So we're going to go into the create shapefile builder, and so all of the stuff about importing spatial data, you don't have to worry about that because it already formats it for you in here. This will open up a map, and it'll open it up to the location of where we chose our land location or land locations. If your previous export file name was shapefile, you need to change that because we don't, or the system doesn't accept the same file name twice in the same application purpose. So I'm just going to name it something that I use as a standard for myself. You can name it whatever you would like. Then I'm going to start to draw my polygon on the map. Now, if you need to move or zoom in, you can. You can just click and hold and drag the screen. You can zoom in by using your roller on your mouse or holding down the control key and dragging in. You can click on OK to start your polygon. Your file that you're creating, every single time you change directions, you click once on the map. To end the polygon or to complete the polygon, double click. If you see this window, click on No. And you can name your excavation whatever you'd like. You can leave it as the standard. If you do more than one excavation, if you want to add another excavation, it will automatically change this to number 2. You can name it however you'd like though. So then I'm going to generate the shapefile, and noting that I'm in Google Chrome at this point in time, once I download the excavation file, it will go into my download file in Windows Explorer automatically. If you're using Internet Explorer, make sure that you open up this file and that you copy the information from here so that you know where the file was saved, because it will save it to a different temporary folder each time. I can close the shapefile builder, go back to the application. I can attach the document that I've created. So I'm going to go to the downloads folder. And I'm going to submit the file. Submitting the file, it will process it. It will add information to this table below, and then you need to complete the rest of the information for this table as part of the excavation. So what I'm doing is I'm going through the quick reference guide. I'm following it basically step by step. So you can either read the guide or you can follow through on this video too as well. Volume in cubic meters, a length in meters, a depth in meters, area in hectares, so that's the surface area at the top of the excavation. So in the case of a rectangle or a square, you can just multiply the length times the width and divide it by 10,000 square meters to get hectares. And the number of significant digits that you can enter in is one significant digit behind a decimal place. This is a freeze text field, the slope field, so you can enter in the information that you require. So there are different excavation types that you can choose from. Borrow pit, dugout, and you can choose one or multiple. End pit lake. Now, when you choose end pit lake or sand and gravel pit, it will open up a question, is an Environmental Protection and Enhancement Act application or authorization required? So please review that. There's codes of practice, etc., under the Environmental Protection and Enhancement Act that you need to review. So please review that act. Other, there is a description that's required associated with other. In this case, I'm going to choose dugout, and the excavation will contain surface water. So please understand on the ground whether you will have groundwater or surface water or both within that dugout. So then I'm going to save the application. I'm going to click on next. In the previous video associated with the general application, we went through validations. So if there is a validation, you can click on view and it will take you to where you need to complete some information that is missing. I can click on next. I can look at the disclaimer. So the disclaimer goes through the online system. It goes through the collection of information under the Freedom of Information and Protection of Privacy Act. And if there's significance associated with your information within your application, trademark secrets, etc., you can request confidentiality under the Water Ministerial Regulation, because all application information that we collect is public information, so the public can request the application. Then you would click on I agree. Once you've completed everything, you can save and submit the application. Once you've submitted it, you cannot change the application. So all of the reports, the plans, any of the data that you've entered in is all locked down. So if you need to change something, especially any one of those data points within any of the tables where you've entered in information, then you'll have to request to withdraw the application from the office that is processing the application, and then resubmit the information. It processes the application. It says that your application is now in the system. This is the same number that's provided up here on the left-hand side. It takes you back to your home page, and then you can see the application and all the other applications that you've submitted. You can even click on this radio button and you can view the application, but you cannot change anything associated with it, like I said previously. So you can click on these files, you can download them, but you cannot change any of the data. It's all locked. If you have any questions associated with the Environmental Approval System OneStop with regard to the Act with regard to technical issues, what you can do is you can click on the contact information down here and submit to the Environmental Approval System One-Stop support at gov.ab.ca. For issues associated with My Alberta Digital ID, Service Alberta handles those questions, and you can email them and you can call them associated with any of those questions. If you have any questions with regard to or issues associated with the system, please do give us an email. I hope that helped, and I hope you're having a good day.